August 19th, 2024, and I'm with Mr. John J. Jeckovich. We're reading his book, Their Mother's Son. Mr. Jeckovich is a World War II vet, combat duty, knocking on the door of 100 years old, and we're just kind of clearing up some text messages that were sent over the last 2 or 3 days. It was most probably speaking about his childhood, and then getting drafted, and then helping his brothers do some work around their houses. So you got the passcode, Mr. Jeckovich?
420965.
Okay, we got the passcode. This is Studio 7C, and we're ready to work. And so you would do most of the work for your brother's houses because you had the talent to do so, but your two brothers weren't talented in that department, right?
Yeah, they were motivated.
How about your sister when she got married? Did her husband have talent to do the type?
Sally, no, he just smoked a cigar and check everything.
Did you do help for your sister Sally?
What?
Did you help your sister Sally work on her house?
Yeah.
What kind of work did you do on her house?
I painted the wall. She had a guy paint the room for $50. I put 2 coats on for 25. That was for the paint. I didn't charge
so you got him a good deal on everything.
I didn't charge her for my labor. I just charged her for the paint.
So you were very generous with your labor. Very generous. Did you build any big decks or swimming decks, pool decks and stuff?
Yeah, what?
Did you ever build any bigger projects like swimming pool decks and things like that?
Yeah, I put that deck in for Stevie, for Stevie, yeah.
And how'd that come out?
That come out good, yeah.
So that was a big job.
Yeah, I worked on it all weekend. And then that little snot, her Millie, she wouldn't give me a drink or nothing.
What do you mean by that? They won't give you a drink?
I'd be out there with the winter, summertime. I was doing that, and I'd tell Delphine when she comes to see me while I was doing it. I said, Delphine, go down the street there, that soda pot, and get me a drink or something. I'm thirsty as hell.
They wouldn't give you a drink.
Millie wouldn't. Yeah.
And you're supplying free labor.
Yeah.
That wasn't very kind or nice. Thank you.
That's how they were.
Wow. That is amazing. So you like woodworking the best?
Woodworking?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was good at electrical too. I made a lot of, I was good at electric sets. I made electric sets.
Really? Tell us about that.
Well, they were metal things. You make houses, you made cars, and everything else with them.
Did you do that since you were a boy?
Yeah, I did that when I was a kid, yeah.
When you were a kid, did you have a lot of books?
Milk?
Books.
Books? I read a lot, yeah.
And did you not say something in your book that you wrote several chapters back that you'd have to hide your books from your mother because she didn't like you reading?
No, I belonged to the Book of the Month Club, and they said a book every month. And I would intercept those books and put them underneath the bed, and she wouldn't see it. But when she saw a book, she said, "You're getting these damn books every month, and we're starving here." So that was that story.
Boy, any mother today would love to have her son reading books. Yeah. And back then you had to hide your books. Oh, wow. What type of books did you get on the Book of the Month Club?
I didn't get no comic books. I didn't get any mystery books. I got history books.
History books. And so did you read a lot about the Civil War and World War I?
World War I and World War II.
I see. Where were you when the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor?
It was Sunday afternoon. I was ice skating on Brazil Creek.
So you remember that like yesterday?
Yeah, Japanese, they call over the radio, Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor.
And did you have an idea at that time, 2 years from that date, you'd be in the military?
No. Well, I figured I was drafted here. I was 19. I was 33. I was drafted at age.
What does 33 mean?
19 years old. Fit
So
for
they-
combat.
they wanted
combat
19
age.
They
Combat
want
age.
19-year-olds, right?
Yeah.
Could you tell us a little bit about your basic training and what different basic training camps you went to?
I went to basic camp Breckenridge. I went to Texas for a while, and I went to Kentucky.
Well, let's talk about
All camps.
let's talk about the first one. Was that Breckenridge?
Yeah.
And how long was that basic training, and what exactly were you trained there for?
I was trained as a recruit. And then I got into the 75th Division. They made that's where the division came off of field day, and they wanted new people in their division, so they picked up these guys. Picked up me and the other guys like me.
Isn't the camp at Breckenridge close to Owensboro?
Yeah.
Isn't it you had a girlfriend in Owensboro like almost immediately?
Annie Mae Mahaney, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good memory. Ann Mahaney.
Well, I used to go there every weekend. Got a pass.
How long of a drive was it from Breckenridge to Ann Mahaney's house?
Well, luckily I had a car. I had probably 20 minutes.
What type of person was Ann Mahaney?
Very, very sweet girl. Sweet girl, yeah.
Nice girl.
No drinking, no bar, no nothing.
None of that stuff. What about her parents? What kind of parents did she have?
The parents were normal parents.
And what?
I met Anna Mahaney. I was walking around the streets there, and I got lost. And the two girls were outside, and I asked them, I said, "Can you tell me how I get back to the bus?" And that's where I met.
That's a great story.
And
so you were basically lost in the streets of Owensboro by yourself.
Yeah.
And you seen two girls in the street?
No, they were on the front lawn.
On the front lawn. And then you start talking to them, and then they give you directions on how to get there?
Yeah.
22.
And then, God bless you. And then how did you make further contact with her?
With Annie?
Yeah.
Well, I took them to coffee. I took Rosalie and Agnes and Delphine to their respective homes, and then I asked Delphine, "Can I see her again?" Well, she said, she wasn't a boyfriend type, you know. She wasn't all kinds of boyfriend. She said, "Well, we'll see." I said, "Well, let me have your phone number." So I gave her the phone number. I couldn't call her home. I had to go down to Grand Central Station.
Why weren't you allowed to call from your home?
Well, then the phone was billed.
You had to pay per call?
Yeah.
So where'd you make phone calls from?
The station down on East Fall Street.
I see.
Train station.
How long were you at Breckenridge for?
Breckenridge, I was probably there a year.
And then where'd you go to from there?
I went to Texas was before that. Breckenridge, and then we shipped them overseas.
But I thought you went to San Antonio.
That was Texas, yeah.
And how long were you there?
That was part of the basic training. No, they thought I was going to be in the Air Force.
And what happened?
I was in the 17s, and then they said, "Look, we got enough of these guys. We don't have to get anybody to the 33s." That was infantry, so they stuck me in there.
Wasn't that at Fort Sam Houston? Fort Sam Houston?
Yeah.
And then after Fort Sam Houston, didn't you go on a furlough?
30-day furlough, and then they shipped me out. Then I had a unit. I had 75th.
Tell us about the furlough. Where did you go and who'd you see?
Well, I went home. I hung around the house. Who did I see? I didn't have a girlfriend here.
So you went to Niagara Falls. How did you get there? That's a long way out.
What?
From Fort Sam Houston.
Took a cab to the train station. Took the train to Buffalo.
How long were you on the train for?
Oh, I stayed about 5 hours.
I see. And then, how'd you get to your house? Did you have to take another cab? Another taxi?
No, I was driving with the cab driver, with the driver from Breckenridge. I said, well, drop me at this bus stop here, and I'll just go down Third. It was on the creek. I said, I'll just go down Third Street. I'll hit the house.
When you got back to Niagara Falls, did everything look the same?
Yeah.
Looked the same? How'd the creek look to you?
The what?
How'd Gill Creek look to you?
Delphine?
No, Gill Creek. How did Gill Creek look to you?
And then you could see the creek. Now, I went down there a couple of years ago. You can't see the creek. It's all bust up.
No more creek, all weeds.
All undergrowth, yeah. That's what he's ice skated on that and everything.
Did you tell me you used to ice skate in your front yard?
Yeah, we used to open the fire hydrant in front of the street, play hockey.
Imagine if you did that today.
Yeah.
You'd go to jail.
Yeah.
What was your neighborhood like then? Was it heavily populated?
What?
Did you have many homes in your neighborhood when you first moved in?
Orleans?
Yeah.
No, they're scattered. The field was wide open. I could sit on my porch and see the fireworks posted right from the stadium here. It was all open. There was no houses there or nothing. That's where I married that cat we had.
When you went to the service and your street of Orleans Avenue was pretty much empty, were there many homes built by the time you got back from the service? Or not really?
Well, I know Holland built a house, and then they were building on that empty field. They took the empty field. There was 20 acres in that field.
Okay.
So they made the street out there and everything.
Okay. So over the years, that street became very populated.
Yeah.
Very populated. Wow, that's something.
And then they opened up LaSalle.
Yeah. Wow, that's something. That is really something. So when you went there for a 30-day leave on furlough, what are some of the things you did? Did your mother make you dinners?
Oh yeah, she treated me royally. Sundays was a good meal, roast lamb and all that stuff. Well, I lived at home.
Yeah, that was
I didn't
nice.
live in an apartment. I lived at home.
That was nice. And then after the time was up, where did you go to? How did you get back to the service? Train?
I took, Looky took me back to the train station, and I took the train to Buffalo, and then I took the train to New York.
And then how many weeks after that before you're in Belgium or Wales?
Oh, I say about over a year before I went.
And what was that troop ship like going over there?
It was a Reverberant lockery ship, and they took all the stuff out, put cabins, and put cots in, 4 cots up, and the top guy had to stick his nose up and hit the freeway.
Were you under the water line?
Oh yeah.
Did you spend much of your time up aboard?
I stayed on the deck.
On the deck.
Yeah.
But when they're loading and debarking, you had to stay in your bunk, right? You couldn't be up on the deck when they're loading or debarking, right? Debarkment center rules.
What do you mean loading?
You said when they're getting off the ship in Wales, everyone couldn't rush the deck. They had to take it in order, so you had to wait a few hours in your cot area before you.
Well, you had before you got off. You had a number. They call out your number, and you got an orientation, and you go out with them.
Were you really happy to get off that ship?
Yeah.
Fresh air?
Fresh air. Well, I slept on the deck all the time anyway.
How did Wales look to you when you first approached it?
Oh. Who?
How did Wales look to it when you first?
Wales?
Yeah.
Well, a little country town.
It was nice.
And there's a woman here working. She came from Wales.
Yeah. And did you hear a lot of Spitfires going by every night?
Spitfire scared the hell out of me.
Right.
Fire coming out of the backside.
But as soon as you got the Wales the first night, you heard a large number of Spitfires going above your head, right?
Yeah.
Besides the Spitfires, what else?
Well, you get the bombers coming over too. But the Spitfires had a routine. They come out at 10 o'clock and go out, shoot their stuff in Germany, shoot the industry and that, get the supplies out, then they fly back, if they fly back at all.
So that was a 24-hour bombing for many, many, many months. The Spitfires would hit during the day, and Americans would hit at night.
Yeah, American hit at night. English the daytime.
There must have been nothing left of Germany.
No, they didn't hit the cathedrals. They didn't hit the churches. They hit the industry where they're making they killed the industry for. That's what they did.
But I imagine it was such destruction when you're bombing something day and night for over years. There's not much left.
Well, they didn't hit. The church was there. The Eiffel Tower was there.
Yeah.
They didn't hit anything that they thought was critical. They were hitting just the stuff that the Germans could use.
So if the German factories that were creating the weapons and the tanks and the aircraft weren't completely destroyed, that war would have lasted a lot longer.
Oh yeah, because the English, the RAF, and the Americans aircrafts were bombing the places that the Germans used for the military. They knew where they were. They weren't hitting residential areas, they weren't hitting hospitals, they weren't hitting the cathedrals, they weren't hitting none of that.
So pretty much if they didn't have that continual bombing, the war would have lasted.
Well, yeah, because they took the supplies away from the Germans.
Completely. That is interesting. That is really interesting.
I hear those Spitfires that scare the hell out of you. The flame coming out of the back end.
What kind of engines did the Spitfires have? Rolls-Royce? And you remember it like it's yesterday, being that loud with those flames coming out of the back? Flames coming out of the back?
Flames, yeah.
Yeah. And the seating in a Spitfire is extremely tiny. One person.
Yeah, that's when those guys, you could see those guys work for the Spitfires. When they crashed or something, they got a hard time getting out their faces. They're always burned. Their always faces are burned.
It's such a tight fit in the seat.
They can't get them out.
I imagine a lot of them did land on enemy territory. How do you think the Spitfire pilots were treated by the Nazis?
And the aircraft.
How do you think they were treated if they were
They shoot at the Spitfires?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the anti-aircraft, they were good.
What I'm trying to say
big searchlight to put the searchlight on the plane. That's scary. You're up in the plane and they're shooting at you with a searchlight on you.
Yeah. What I'm saying is, many of the pilots had to make an emergency landing in those Spitfires, and they were alive and took as prisoner of war. How were the Germans treated, the Spitfire pilots? Any different than a regular prisoner of war?
No, they didn't show me any favoritism, but they didn't show me any neglect or nothing. They were doing their job. They were military like they were.
That's amazing. How many aircraft we had in that war? How many millions of rounds of ammunition?
Well, those Spitfires, when they crash landed, they parachuted out. They landed in some field in Germany or where they didn't know where the hell they were, and they used their wits to keep hiding so the Germans wouldn't pick them up.
Wow, unbelievable. During the World War II, did you see many paratroopers?
Right?
Did you see many paratroopers during World War II dropping out of the sky?
Yeah.
And they helped win the Battle of Bulge, didn't they?
Yeah, the stringer, they come out, 12 is a string. And then when they come out, where they have, they're 12 feet apart, when they came out of that plane, dropping with the parachutes, they had to pull that parachute away from the other ones because they dragged the whole stringer with them.
I guess they were an easy target.
Yeah.
I imagine a lot got killed before they landed.
Oh, yeah. The Germans would put the spotlight on them and everything.
Yeah, you're coming down, 19-year-old paratrooper, and you got these mega spotlights on you. It's not going to be nice. Did you ever paratroop?
Yeah, twice.
And how was that?
Well, that was part of the training.
Oh, where was that at?
That was in Breckenridge, Texas.
And did you go out in groups of 12? When you parachuted out of that plane, did you go in groups of 12 or did you go solo?
No, I didn't go. Well, they took out a mock craps, like a big trestle that you walked up maybe 20, 30 feet high.
Okay.
And then they put you on a chute, and you dropped off and you opened the chute, and that was your practice.
Did some of the soldiers panic because they're scared of heights?
Yeah. I think by then the ones that were Mickey Mouse were shifted out.
Shifted out. How about when you used to wear a gas mask? Did you have to? Is gas mask the standard issue? And you have to have.
We had gas mask training, but they never used it.
What was the gas mask training like?
Well, they put you in a room and you're talking and that, and then they said, all right, we're going to turn the gas on. Don't put your mask on until we tell you. And so you're sitting there, you're coughing and sneezing and blood, and say, all right, put your mask on.
Oh, Lord. Wow. And how was that experience?
Huh?
How was that?
That was lousy training because you're sitting there coughing and sneezing, your eyes are watering and everything else. You know, all right, put your mask on.
You remember the smell?
It smelled mustardy.
Did you get sick?
No, I didn't get sick, no, but my stomach got upset.
Did a lot of guys get sick?
No.
No. Was the whole room in a complete fog?
The what?
Was the whole room in complete fog? Was the room covered with smoke and that training process?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they tried to make it as realistic as they could.
So you did parachute training, gas mask training. What else?
Infiltration courses. You go through, get out of a tunnel, get out of a trench, and get called on your stomach, and they got bombs and smoke on the field, the infiltration course.
And machine gun fire above your head?
30 inches above your head.
Did many guys panic?
Well, you panic when you're down in that trench and you have to get over that top, and you see the tracers coming over.
What color are the tracers?
Red.
Red? The Germans used a lot of tracers, didn't they?
Well, we use a lot too.
How about flare guns? Flare guns. Did you use a lot of flare guns? Flare guns.
No. Flare guns just shoot the light open. Some guys use to kill somebody with them too.
Well, how's that? Tell me how that.
They didn't have a pistol or something, or they lost their arms and that. The German come up, take the flare out, shoot them in the face.
That'd be it.
That's it. Then they get pissed off. The guy pissed off and they shoot you.
Oh my word. Did you ever shoot anyone with a flare gun?
Who?
Did you shoot anyone with a flare gun?
No.
Wow. Did you use a 12-gauge shotgun during the war?
What?
Did you use a 12-gauge shotgun during the war?
The what?
12-gauge shotgun.
No, they gave who was it? Some officer gave me a shotgun. I said, I'm not using it. It's illegal anyway.
It was a sawed-off shotgun?
Yeah.
against the Geneva Convention.
Yeah, and then where did I get the ammunition?
Yeah.
So I laid it in the truck I'm buying. I never used it.
After the war, was there many soldiers on both sides prosecuted for violations of the Geneva Convention?
No.
Were the Germans prosecuted?
Well, they had their court-martials for the Germans, yeah.
How about the SS? What happened to the SS after the
Well,
war?
they were unknown. They're probably living in some farm now yet.
Yeah.
Third generation.
They disappeared.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's something. But the most interesting story, when a young Nazi soldier had a drop on you, tell us how that went.
Oh, he was my age. We were in a trench. He was coming towards me, and I was going opposite him, and we went around the curve in that trench. He had a drop on me. My rifle was down, and he was my age. He looked at me, waved, smiled, turned right over back.
He didn't look back, and he just kept walking in the trench.
Yeah, well, he took a big chance. I could have shot him in the back.
You could have shot him.
Yeah.
Well, I hope that soldier's still alive today,
Yeah.
because he certainly saved your life. God and your mother's prayers certainly helped. Because if he had a drop on you, that was it. There was no turning around. He gave you a smile, turned around and kept walking.
Now, if he was older, he probably shot me.
Yeah, because he probably didn't want to be in the war no more than you did.
Yeah.
He was just a young kid. Might could be younger than
19 years old, yeah.
Could be younger. And so he probably felt like, let's get this thing over with. And he's sick of killing people.
Yeah.
And that was it. Wow, that was a great story. That was a pure miracle. It was a miracle.
Yeah, I got the right guy.
You got the right guy.
Yeah.
How about if that was an SS?
The what?
How about, instead of a young kid, how about if that was the SS?
The SS would probably shoot me.
Yeah. Minutes?
2.5.
Huh?
2.5.
Yeah. Did you run across many SS?
No.
Were you able to take many souvenirs home from the war?
The only thing I brought was a knife.
And where's that?
Lord knows.
Did a lot of soldiers take home souvenirs?
Well, that major took a boat home.
How the hell do you get a
I don't know. It took a big cruiser home.
That must have been a lot of logistics.
Well, look at the stuff he had to carry, get through.
Yeah.
He couldn't put that on your back. He couldn't put it in your trailer.
Several countries.
Yeah, he had to get passes to get out.
Did you know that, Major?
Yeah.
Did a lot of young GIs take German helmets home?
No.
German Lugers?
Lugers, yeah, but they were told don't carry Lugers when you're in combat because the Germans see you with a Luger, they'll shoot you right there.
Okay, so during the combat, if you had any of the German Lugers or parts of their equipment or knives, they would shoot you on the spot.
Yeah.
Minutes? So they shoot you right on the spot, right?
1
minute.
Yeah.
Did you ever carry a Luger with you?
No.
Did you know soldiers that did?
No. Well, they knew it was dangerous.
It would be a death sentence, right?
Yeah.
Did most of the Germans have bayonets?
No.
Did you have a bayonet?
No. I had a bayonet, but it was a snap-on on your rifle, but I didn't use it.
There was not much.
It was a footlocker.
Not much.
That's hand-to-hand combat.
That's amazing.
30 seconds.
That's amazing. So you primarily during combat duty, you worked a heavy machine gun.
Heavy machine gun, yeah. We were supporting fire. Heavy weapons.
So there'd be the rifleman up front and you were behind the rifleman.
Yeah.
Wow, I mentioned the rifleman got killed pretty quick.
Oh, yeah. Well, they had machine guns, but they had the light machine guns, air-cooled,
Air cooled.
Yeah.
You had water cooled.
water-cooled.